Hello everyone, it's James Chamberlain, and today we're back. Vehicle Simulator is back with another major update. I am super hyped here, as I always am when Vehicle Simulator updates. It has been absolutely forever, but we're back. Vehicle Simulator is back, and we have some insane stuff to go over today in this new update. A bunch of new, really unique cars were added, in addition to some super pricey, high-performance cars. This update is going to be super fun. There's a bunch of awesome April Fool stuff, and all sorts of insane things to check out today. To begin with, guys, here in the Vehicle Simulator Discord, right over here, as you can see, this is the update log for this new update, and a bunch of stuff was fixed. There's a new racetrack, which is finally back. I used to love the racetrack. We've got some new cars, and these are pretty dang insane. I'll be showing them all to you guys today. I really think at this point, to truly do this justice, we need to just head on into the game and see what we're looking at. Alrighty guys, here we are loading into a new server, and we've already loaded in, and it is nighttime, which is another thing that's back, because for a long time Vehicle Simulator didn't have that day and night cycle that it used to, but that is back. We once again have nighttime in game, which is pretty dang cool. To begin with here, guys, I think we should take a look at some of these new cars, and as you might have noticed here, there is this. As I load it in right here, you guys can see this thing, which is just one of the new vehicles that was added to the game. So let's open up our phone here and see what we're working with. First of all, over here, we've got the shop, and we've got the aerial molecule and the back Monto. Even though I can't quite afford these vehicles, I have a friend who owns them, and he's very generously allowed me to go ahead and benchmark these vehicles and show them to you guys. So we'll be doing that later in the video as well. As for some of the super unique stuff in the game, though, if you go ahead and type in baby, whatever this is, as you guys can see here, these are the new April Fool's vehicles. This year, the game was supposed to have an update on April 1st, and that's what all of this new content is for, but unfortunately, due to some publishing issues with Roblox, they weren't able to get that update out on time, so we now get to go ahead and enjoy this limited update now, a little bit in the future. Before I go any further, I should let you guys know that these vehicles will not be in the game much longer. This is only like a one-day exclusive update, so probably later tomorrow you will not be able to access this anymore. So go ahead and take a look at these vehicles while you can. They all only cost $99. They're super cheap. To begin with here, let's go ahead and take a look at the Baby or the Baby, however it is you're supposed to pronounce that. This vehicle is really weird and unique, but makes a great car for April Fools. Alrighty, let's go ahead and load this beast out. There we go. There it is. This is the Baby car. As you might be able to hear, this kind of has the same startup that the Mazda does, and it's also got the same driving sounds as the Mazda. I'm pretty sure that that's probably the chassis that they used, and they just kind of beefed it up a little bit to make it into what this is. As you can see, it is not bad. This is a pretty good supercar in terms of performance, but once you hit the boost, it is just insane. Look at this acceleration, guys. This is just brutal. We're gonna go into the water. Would you look at that? This is completely stock too. I don't even see a need to mod this or waste any money. Since the car is going to disappear from the game so soon, I just don't see a need to mod it. And it's already so quick. I mean, honestly, what's the point of modding this to begin with? In terms of looks, I don't know what the heck is going on here. I don't even know who this is. You guys can go ahead and tell me in the comments. I'm probably being really dumb by not knowing what this model is based off of. But nonetheless, it's pretty cool. Super ugly and disgusting looking from the top. But this car is just all around. This is just a real monstrosity. In terms of performance, though, that's where this brute right here shines. It is just crazy the type of numbers that you can get. In fact, we might be able to get into a drag race here, and I can just show you guys the type of pulls that this thing makes when we are racing. Let's see. Awesome. It looks like we have a race here. Let's go ahead and get started here. There we go, guys. 3.18 seconds. Not too bad. In fact, sometimes this car will run even quicker and will run closer to the 2s, but nonetheless, that is still just a ridiculous time. So that is the first car. That is the Baby car. Next, we have the Invisible Boatmobile. This car is a classic for Vehicle Simulator April Fools. This is either the second or third year that this has been debuted for April Fool's Day. This car is pretty cool, though. It's pretty much just an invisible car with ridiculous stats. This car is even quicker than the Baby car that we just showed. If you guys take a look here, let's go ahead and just accelerate here and just use our boost right there. And this is even faster. This is a real ripper, if I do say so. Wow, we're going to go off the map again. And here we are in the water now. Let's see if we can get out of the water here without flipping around like a dolphin. Let's see what we can do. There we go. That's better. Whoa, what is even going on here? What What the heck is happening here? We are just flying. Wow. So let's see if we can fly with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it right here. And then I'm going to try to back up with this and see if we can't get her boosted into the air. And look at that. Yes, we kind of can fly with this. It is, in fact, possible to kind of launch and do a little bit of a flight in this vehicle. That is just crazy. Let's go ahead and do another quarter mile in this invisible boatmobile so you guys can see just how ridiculous our times are going to be here. Here we go. All right, what were we at there? 2.1 seconds. Let's clarify in the chat what we got. 2.0 seconds. Dang, they just get quicker and quicker, guys. 2-second car right here in Vehicle Simulator. The dev team of this game truly always impresses for April Fools. They always just do some insane stuff that just puts a smile on all of our faces, and I am so thankful for that. That even though the game's kind of gone down in popularity, we still get some just insane stuff. What the heck is happening? What? Okay, we're stuck in the ground. This is a pretty common issue with the invisible boatmobile, this update, where it gets stuck in the ground because it's just so quick that it just gets stuck. And that happens quite often, unfortunately. So let's see if we can't respawn. Continuing down the list, we have the ramp car. This definitely isn't as quick as the others, but this car is just what it says it is. It is a ramp vehicle. This car is quick, but it's definitely got nothing on the others in terms of acceleration or top speed. Those cars are just ridiculous. They are quite literally out of this world here, where this is a little bit more doable. This is a little bit more normal for a car. I do actually want to see if it's possible to ramp with this, so I'm going to see if I can't get somebody to maybe ramp off of me in this car. Let's just go ahead and ask this chat and see if we can get anybody who would be willing to demonstrate this ramp vehicle for us. Alrighty, it looks like somebody would like to go ahead and try ramping off of our car, so let's go ahead and meet up at spawn and see if we can't do this or not. Alrighty guys, here we go. The brake is on. Let's just see what's going to happen. This is going to be insane. Dang it, it looks like that didn't work. Let me try moving forward a little bit and see if we can do it that time. Whoa! Whoa, did you guys see that? That was a launch and a half. Whoa. Okay, that was properly insane. That was really crazy. Wow. Alrighty guys, unfortunately I could not load in on my alt for some reason, despite the game's new optimization, which by the way, this game is way smoother than it used to be because they went back to the handmade roads, and these just really give me old Vehicle Simulator vibes. But the game has a much better frame rate, on average between 10 to 30 FPS, depending on where you are in the map. So that should help all of you guys who don't just have an insane computer. Alrighty guys, so here we are getting ready to ramp now. I'm going to go ahead and use my Roadster 2.0, as I think that this is a great car to go ahead and test the ramp car with. I don't have Insanity on right now. We're going to do the first one without Insanity. Let's go ahead and try this. Darn it. Alright, let's try that with Insanity mode this time, and maybe it will work now. Let's go ahead and see here. Dang it, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to in the Roadster. Let's just go at that one more time. Alrighty guys, we're going to go ahead and try a different car here and see if something else will work better than the Roadster. The Air Eruption's got a lot of clearance in the front, but it's not a particularly quick car anymore. So, what should I pick? Why don't we pick one of the new cars? Oh, this is gonna be ridiculous, guys. Will I forgive myself after doing this? Let's go ahead and see here. Here we go. Oh, dang it. People are standing right in the way. Here we go. Here we go. All right. No! How did I miss that? I am so bad. All right. Alrighty, so we're going to try this at the airport now. By the way, guys, shout out to Cerberus Racing for being willing to go ahead and allow me to kind of test out these vehicles with their help, as I wasn't really able to do this on my alt for some reason, so having an additional player in here willing to help makes this a whole lot easier. Alrighty, let's try this here. This is going to be scary. This is going to be really scary. Dang it! Why did I think that was the ramp? I couldn't even see that far out. Let's go ahead and respawn. Darn it, just not having luck today. Okay, perfect. So here is the car. So to begin with here, it looks like we should have enough clearance if we hit the launch right. So this should be the correct angle here. Let's go ahead and stop the car and then see if we can hit this or not. Whoa. Okay, yes we can. The ramp car works. Would you look at that? Let's head back in and try that one more time in a different vehicle here. Alrighty, this time let's go ahead and use something else for the ramp car. Let's try the ramp car with the ramp car this time. I'm gonna turn on insanity mode, as I think that's probably gonna be our only way to get the speed we're gonna need in order to do this. Might as well take it slowly first and just make sure that we are in fact properly lined up, which I would say that we are there. This is either gonna go horribly or it's gonna be insane. It might be a bit of both, but I think it's gonna be pretty fun. So in 3, 2, 1, there we go. That kind of worked. That kind of worked, not gonna lie. Pretty dang cool, actually. The ramp car is definitely a neat addition. I've always liked games that had, like, ramp vehicles. Like, I know that inside a driving simulator, there's that ramp tow truck, and that's always been a thrill to just ramp off of and put cars on, so I'm glad Vehicle Simulator has something similar. I do find it kind of unfortunate that this is one of the cars that I'm pretty sure is going to get removed very, very soon, but nonetheless, might as well enjoy it while we've got it. Alrighty, continuing down the line, we have the Sus car. Now, this car, I actually don't know the reference. Oh, I just now noticed this is an Among Us person. I don't know why that took me so dang long, but as you can see, this car is an Among Us character right here, and it's got the shoes right up here at the front. Then we just got some sort of like a jumpsuit on the character. I'm not entirely sure. I don't really play Among Us, but it's a cool and neat looking car, and it's definitely a pleasure to drive, and it's just kind of hilarious. Again, the brutally accelerating vehicles continues here. This one makes pulls that are just insanely quick and brutal. I don't even know why you would ever need this type of power, but well, we've got it. Here we are just cruising up the newer simplified mountain roads that were just added into the game with the update. Definitely a lot less lag and better frame rate up here, which will definitely help a lot of you guys, as the frame rate and performance in this game have just always bugged me quite a bit. Let's do a drag race with this one while we can, and let's see what type of times we're going to get here. Ooh, versus the Bugatti. This will be fun. Okay. That was a nice quarter mile drag run. That was nice. As should be pretty obvious now, all of these new cars get between 1.9, 2.0, 2.3. They're all just insanely and ridiculously quick for the April Fool's update. But once again, these cars aren't only going to be nerfed, they're going to be entirely removed. So enjoy them while you can, and I'm kind of just focusing on them now, since this video will be kind of documenting what we had for this year's April Fool's update while it exists. I should point out, guys, that in terms of handling these new cars, there isn't really much to say about the handling. It's definitely not the greatest. They have enough power to very easily just spin out and lose control. But when you're not using the NOS, they are drivable. Once you hit the NOS, though, you don't really have much drivability. You're just going in a straight line and basically just jumping to warp speed there. I wouldn't recommend these new cars for anything other than quarter mile. Earlier today, I was doing some runs on the highway race, just using more normal vehicles in the game, and a bunch of people started using these new cars and just kept on losing and not qualifying and finishing the race because they just went flying every time they tried to accelerate. The only real race I would recommend using these cars in are the drag races, and while they are available, I would use them in the drag races, as absolutely nothing's going to beat these new cars. Let's be real. They do slightly defer in stats. They're all super insane. They do slightly defer, though, with the boatmobile just being a teeny bit quicker. I don't think we've ever had an April Fool's update this loaded. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at Talking Ben. This is another car that's not quite as quick as the others. It still moves out, but it's not quite as quick, as you might be able to see here. Really, again, not much to cover here. Handling is just about the same. Not really much too special here. Alright guys, now lastly, before we take a look at the new high performance cars, let's spawn out the Jumper. Now this car looks kind of like a C8 Corvette in my opinion. It kind of has those C8 Corvette vibes, if we're being completely honest here. I like the look a lot. I'm not really sure what's going on with that front splitter or why my car is just sitting in the ground. Let's respawn it, as that does not look right at all. Alright, let's see. Can we get it this time? Okay, awesome. This time the car actually spawned out properly, so it looks a whole lot better here. And as you can see, kind of reminds me of like a C8 Corvette and an Aventador kind of merged together. Now, unfortunately, this car is going to be removed as well. This is one of the April Fool's vehicles. It accelerates insanely quickly, once again, but this does have the best handling out of all the April Fool's cars, and this is probably the most legit one if you actually want to use this as like a main vehicle. This car actually can compete in a highway around the world. This car is actually capable of competing in those races with relatively decent handling if you know what you're doing. Alright, awesome. We've got another player in here. We'll be able to do a run of the highway and just see how things go. Oh, and of course, we are racing the Babby. This is going to be fun. No, are you kidding me? Seriously? Seriously, game? Come on. Alright, whatever. Okay, that was not a good start at all there. That was a bad start. Alright, let's just take advantage of this straight. Oh, okay, that's how we'll do it. Alright, I'm good with that. Whatever. We'll just go spinning out like a cyclone through here. I mean, whatever works, I guess. As you can see, it's semi-controllable on the highway. Wouldn't be my first choice. I could have easily beaten that time in a more regular vehicle, but nonetheless, really fun to just spaz out and just go insane on these races. I do wish that they would keep the jumper in the game, as this is a pretty neat looking model and it really does just follow the classic vehicle simulator style. So I wish that they would keep this, but I understand that this is just an exclusive April Fool's car and it will be gone pretty soon. Nonetheless though, pretty fun, and make sure that you guys are really playing vehicle simulator right now. Make sure you guys are checking out this update and playing while you can and experiencing this stuff while you can, because very soon this stuff will all get removed. Now, folks, I'm going to open up my phone, and we're going to go ahead and test drive these two new vehicles. After the test driving, then I will go ahead and borrow my friends, which are fully maxed, and we'll be able to really get a performance comparison on stock versus max, and I'll be able to provide you guys my thoughts. So let's go ahead and begin by just testing the car. We'll start a 10-minute test drive here. Let's hop on in. Again, this car has the same sounds as the other new vehicle in the game. For those of you guys who know your cars and are quite observant, you will realize that this resembles the Aerial Atom, and that's in fact what this is meant to be. The name of the car in game is the Aerial Molecule, so very similar to the Aerial Atom. I've always thought, whoa, I don't know what that was. Anyway, as I was saying, I've always thought that the Aerial Atom was a super cool car. I've always thought the Aerial Atom was really unique. It's as close to F1 performance as you're going to get on the street. This car is quick, it's fast, and it handles almost as well as a motorcycle around the corners. It is just crazy. In terms of acceleration, even stock, we are already performing super well here. This car is just great, even at stock. I am really impressed here. In terms of how the model looks, I really like the car's look as well. It's got a really premium, cool look. You can see the motor back here, which is highly detailed. You can see your NOS in here, and just all of the internals of the vehicle, literally right there with that open air chassis. Here we go. As you guys can see, this car turns quite well. Honestly, though, the turn radius isn't quite as extreme as I would have thought. I feel like it should have been able to turn just a little bit better, but this car is stock. There aren't really any mods here, but it does do kind of what the Agera used to do, where it just doesn't really make turns super well, despite being an ultra high performance vehicle. All right, let's slow down and try drifting. When you do drift with this, it is a bit better. Drifting with this car kind of makes up for the not as good turning performance. Now, guys, let's go ahead and do a quick test drive of the back Monto, which is also a really pricey, high-performance car that we can expect to see here in the game. I don't know why I just spawned at the donut shop all of a sudden. Did you guys see that? I literally just teleported way over here, and I just don't know why. Here we go, though, accelerating. As you can see, with the boost, it's not too bad. Again, this car accelerates quite quickly. In terms of turning, we've got the exact same situation as the Aerial, where they're just not turning quite as tight as I would like. It still performs great. This car is super stable. It doesn't really seem to want to roll, but turning-wise, I just don't think it's the best. Really, at least stock, this performs quite similarly to the Aerial. It's just not quite as quick. I do like the look, though. I'm not actually sure what this is based off of. You guys can let me know in the comments, but my car knowledge has kind of failed me here, and I'm not entirely sure what this is meant to be based off of, or if it is a custom vehicle for the game. This really does look like a modern, souped-up F1 car, though, and I think that that's truly what they were trying to go for, is more of like a Formula 1 style vehicle with this car. We are definitely moving out. 273 isn't too bad for stock, and again, drifting. These cars are just a dream to drift. Not all the cars are super controllable when drifting, but these new cars change that. These are great. The Aerial as well as this car are great when drifting and maintaining control. Alrighty, guys, now that we've tested out these two new performance cars, let's go ahead and join my friend and take a look at his fully maxed versions of these cars and see how they compare to the stock ones. Alright, guys, here we are in the Aerial, and straight off the bat, this car looks awesome the way that it was painted. Shout out to my friend Falco, a fellow staff member and moderator here in the game, for being willing to allow me to try out these fully maxed vehicles. But let's take a look here and just see how this performs. This car is fully maxed with pro short gears, so this is the configuration that we usually benchmark here in the game, and is the way that I always max my cars. So let's just take a look here and see how this beautiful vehicle performs. Right off the bat here, it is quite quick. The Damon 20 definitely seems to pull a little bit quicker, at least with a manual transmission, but this car is still no slouch. It is very, very quick, especially as you start to get into higher speeds. Top speed's looking at right around 390, again max with pro short gears. Handling as well is greatly improved. This car handles a lot better now. The steering is nowhere near as bad as it was before. All right, let's slow down. Brakes as well. This car performs wonderfully when modded. This is a world of difference, guys. I must say, this has to be the best handling car in the game. This is just great. Let's go ahead and do a quick quarter-mile run now and show you guys what we'll be looking at in terms of max quarter-mile speeds. All right, we are racing a car that's faster than us, so we do need to keep that in mind here. Alrighty, so it looks like we got right around 5.1, so this car is quite quick. Not quite as quick as the Damon 20, which runs in the 4-second range, but it's still a very, very quick car here in the game. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and do a run on the highway race with this car and just see how it performs. Alright, well, looks like we're going to be stuck doing a time trial here, unfortunately, but that will still give us a great benchmark as to how the car performs. So let's get started here. Okay, yeah, this is good. This is quite good. This car does flip if you crash with the front end, so that's not good. Do keep that in mind in terms of how you're hitting the walls on highway, and try to avoid walls if you can, as this car is not going to like riding the walls. As you guys can see, this car does not like the walls whatsoever. Now to go ahead and compare acceleration, I would say that this most closely matches the Roadster 2.0, again fully maxed with short gears. So I'm going to go ahead and try the Roadster 2.0 and just see acceleration wise. Yeah, I think it's definitely the closest to the Roadster. In fact, I think it just might be slightly quicker or about the same as the Roadster in terms of acceleration. Let's do a drag benchmark with the Roadster, as it's been a while since I've drag raced this, and let's just see what our times are compared to the aerial here. All right, this should be good. This should be a pretty close battle here. Alright, so we got 4.8 on this. So yeah, looking back at my times from the aerial and comparing them to my fully maxed Pro Short Gears Roadster 2.0 here, I would say that the Roadster has just a teeny bit of an edge, but that's all going to come down to your individual ping with the server and your individual connection, as well as your personal game performance. As much as I am one of those people who's really fond of the Roadster's handling in this game, I do have to give the Molecule the score for handling, as it's just a great handling car. For comparative purposes, I did go ahead and just benchmark my Egoista here in the game, again at the airport quarter mile, to see what type of times we were looking at. This is the other $12 million car, and this is running manual transmission. And with manual, which does give a slight edge in terms of acceleration, we were getting right around that 4.8, 4.9, 5-second range. If you're looking purely for acceleration, I would get this Egoista, fully max it, and then put manual transmission. Once you learn to shift manual in this game, it does give you a bit of an edge over automatic vehicles, so I highly recommend that if you are looking for a purely quarter-mile drag build. And it's also helpful for decelerating if you learn to drive this on the roads, as being able to downshift the vehicle helps you to make turns better and really just gives you a lot more control over the car. Now guys, lastly, we need to go ahead and take a look at the Monto, the back Monto, which is the other new car, and it's the other expensive high-performance vehicle to take a look at. Okay guys, here is the Monto right here. This is the back Monto, and this car is insane here. Whoa there, just got boosted by a gilded ram. Anyway though, this is the car. Again, this car looks really sick, especially with the way that Falco modded it. I really like the way that this car looks. Okay, this actually has some really good acceleration now. This actually accelerates quite well. I also see this has the new rainbow NOS, when you gotta have all the colors because you just can't pick what color nitrous you want. Now you can just have them all. Straight off the bat, even though this car accelerates quickly, it's not quite as quick as the aerial. It doesn't have the same top speed either. This only goes up in the mid 320s, not like the 340s and above like the aerial will. So this definitely isn't as quick, but it's no surprise we're comparing a $14 million vehicle to a $20 million one. Dang it, why? Are you kidding me? Why? Alrighty, let's get away from that ram this time so we don't get yeeted again and we can actually evaluate this vehicle. Straight away, turning and drifting, it's definitely very heavy. I believe this is all-wheel drive here, just based on the way it's drifting. I'm pretty sure that it is. Don't quote me on that, but I think that it might be, just based on the way that the car drifts. There are cars that are going to be a little bit quicker than this, things like the Damon 20. Let's make the turn here. Turning with drifting is quite good in this car. It turns a lot similarly to the Bugattis, as those are all-wheel drive vehicles again. Let's go around the racetrack though, as I'm really not so concerned about like high-speed performance, because let's be real, these are $14 and $20 million cars. We already know that they are going to be the best in the game. So I'm looking a lot more at just general handling. So let's see how we do going around the racetrack here. Honestly, turning once again could be better here. It is very hard to hit apexes on corners, which for a car like this, I would expect it to be quite a bit easier to hit those apexes without needing to drift to really get around the turns efficiently. But unfortunately, we just aren't seeing that here. In terms of these new cars, though, this as well as the aerial molecule, I don't know if I can recommend them for the money. Unless you have tons of in-game cash and just want to buy these to buy them, I really don't think that they are your best bets in terms of performance. Again, everything's going to be down to what you personally like. For example, my friend here isn't a massive fan of the molecules handling at this time, whereas in my opinion, it is the best handling car in the game. So we all kind of have different preferences for how we like to drive things here in Vehicle Simulator. Go ahead and do some test drives. If you've got a friend with these vehicles, let them know, see if you can borrow their car for a little while, and to see what you think and kind of make the determination as to what you want to grind for or buy based on what you think is the best car for your needs. Personally, I love the aerial molecule. I think it's got a nice blend of good drifting and sliding performance, but also fairly good performance going around corners once it has been fully maxed. Now guys, lastly, I have some very, very special news here in Vehicle Simulator. The Bugattis are back and they have been fixed. This is my Veyron. For the last like 3 years, this car has performed miserably and I've been stuck using Insanity to get it to drive even remotely decently, but that has just changed. This car is quicker now. This car is actually a viable option for quarter mile. Once again, you're not just going to lose every race in the Veyron anymore. It has been buffed to where it is a usable vehicle here once again. I don't know if I go as far as to say that this is once again a great value car, but it is good to see it usable again. So if you do own the Veyron, you can consider taking this one out for a spin once again, and hopefully we start to see the Veyron make a bit of a comeback and become more popular here in the game now that it's actually usable once again. I am just so thrilled that Bugattis are back. That really means something special, as the Bugatti Veyron kind of was my first like major car that I grinded for back in the day, back in the good old days of early Vehicle Simulator. This thing meant so much to me and I'm glad to see it once again being a glorious car to drive around on the streets.
If you can afford it, then definitely get this Bugatti. You're not gonna regret it. It's just a very good vehicle.
Taking a look at the Chiron as well, we will see similar improvement. The Chiron still could be buffed a little bit in terms of acceleration and technically should have a higher top speed. This is still slower top speed wise than the Veyron, but the Chiron is also a viable solution. Again, I'm not going to go as far as to say that this is a good value vehicle, and I wouldn't recommend this for your first kind of supercar in the game, but I do think that the Chiron is once again a usable car, and I do think you can compete in races again with this vehicle. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. Once again, shout out to my friend Falco for allowing me to try out those new vehicles, but this has overall been a great video. I really enjoyed recording this, and it just put a smile in my face throughout the video, getting to be back in Vehicle Simulator once again, doing what I love here in one of my absolute favorite games. Guys, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.